ever believed her. So she recorded me on a tape. She played it back from my dad, and I heard myself, and I never shouted again. It worked. I don't know if that would necessarily work in the cases of the 3-year-old, but
good idea.
It's not a bad idea for letting Dad know perhaps what's going on.
Yeah.
Right, okay. James, who's listening to us in Clare, is on the line. Good afternoon, James.
Hi, Sean. How you doing?
Not too bad. Now, tell us about your 3-year-old.
Well, my 3-year-old, Oisín, in the last, I'd say, month or so, has taken up a new hobby, and it's swearing in inappropriate places and times.
Right.
Yeah.
And when you say inappropriate places?
Well, Mass was the most recent.
Sorry, I shouldn't be laughing.
And, well, yeah, I went up for communion anyway, and Oisín goes, Daddy, you smell like shite.
Okay.
In front of the whole church.
Right.
Yeah. And then, about a week ago, we were at the mother-in-law's, and he starts going, Granny, F you, Granny, F you, F you. Obviously, I can't say the actual word, but and it's very embarrassing. It reflects badly on me. It's since he started play school, he started saying these, you know.
Right. Okay. All right. So, in fact, my reaction there was probably the worst reaction. I laughed. And that's what's happening there.
That's exactly it. Hi, James. This is Niamh here. How are you?
Hi, Niamh.
How were the initial reactions?
What, from other people?
Yes.
Well, laughter. People found it funny, so I think he thought this was great.
Exactly. That's the common thing about it, because it is funny when a 3-year-old says their first swear word. But it means that they get a lot of attention for it, and at the beginning it's a lot of positive attention, and even now it might be negative attention, but they're still getting a reaction. And at 3 years old, they don't care that much what kind of reaction it is. It's like, oh, look, if I say this, look at everybody suddenly looks my way, and everybody jumps to attention.
Well, I wouldn't mind so much if it was just the mother-in-law who was saying it to, but...
Oh, right. How to get into the worst possible trouble.
Right, yeah. It's the priest he's worried about.
I'll tell you, I think, the first thing to look out for is, like, do you swear yourselves at home?
No, not, well...
you liar, James, come on.
Gotcha. Yeah. So, okay, anytime there's behaviour going on with a kid, it forces us to kind of look in the mirror, because the chances are there are words just slipping out quite casually, and you might never use the F word, but you might use shite or whatever, in just language, kind of dealing with everyday stuff. And so it can, if he's hearing it, it can become quite commonplace for him to use as well. And as you say, it may be that he's hearing some of it in creche, but I would imagine that they're not allowed to use language in creche either. Exactly, yeah. So I think a lot of this is that he's playing on your embarrassment factor. That's why he's doing it in these, in these places. He's not doing it at home, just to get attention all the time. He's doing it in the most inopportune moments when there's plenty of people around, and he's playing on your embarrassment factor. Like he was in your arms going up to communion, or saying it to Granny, when everybody's around, and you yourself, as you said, felt like it personally reflected on you. It's not, and so for yourself, maybe to rethink that it's not a personal reflection on you. You didn't teach your son swearing. Every kid learns how to swear by themselves, from people around. But the less that you react to it, eventually it'll kind of be just commonplace to him. It'll be like any other word, so it'll die off.
So I just don't react to it.
There would be two approaches. I mean, that would be my first approach would be to really make a concerted effort not to react, not to even look in his direction,
Okay, well, scolding the child hasn't been working at all. So.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it runs off them, and it's just more attention, really. It just gets you looking in their direction and talking to them. So if they curse or whatever, I wouldn't even look at him. I would, if you're in the middle of a conversation, keep talking, or start just, and let other adults who are kind of around him maybe in on it. Look, we're not going to react to this, so we'll just keep talking here and let them know.
Should I leave him home for Mass for a few weeks till he stops? Because it's very embarrassing in front of everyone.
And has he done it a couple of times?
Consistently over the last 4 weeks.
Okay, my goodness.
Shite is his favourite word.
Right.
It's not a bad choice. Niamh, I'd leave him home from Mass for a few weeks, really. Yeah.
Possibly until, but again, I wouldn't necessarily tell him that it's related. Maybe just you're going to separate Masses this coming week or whatever, and so one of you's at home with him and the
I'll tell
other's
him I
going to
converted.
Mass.
Yeah, tell him you've become a Buddhist or something. Actually, because I remember my son, who's grown up now, but when he was about 4 or 5, and I've told this story before, and it will involve swearing, so I apologise to listeners, but he one day we were in the car and his mother stalled the car. He's in the back in the baby seat and he goes, "Fuck's sake, Mammy." And then we noticed he kept saying that all the time. So we said, well, we'll ignore it for a while. And then he kept saying it, so we started saying, every time he said it, we'd say, "Don't say that word." He used to play with his dinky cars and balance them up on the back of the sofa, and then when it fall down, he'd go, "Fuck's sake." So we started saying, "Don't say that word." And then one day I noticed that he was playing with the dinky car. His dinky car fell down and he said, "Fuck's sake, don't say that word." So it didn't do a bit of good to him anyway. So you just have to wait for it to wear out. James, best of luck with that. Thanks very much.
Maybe put in another different kind of word that he could use instead, and start using that as the family word when things go wrong, and just put the attention onto that instead, like sugar or flip or fruitcake or something.
Sugar will work.
Sugar is good.
Okay, James.
All right, James. Thanks a million. Thanks, Niamh. Niamh had it there, folks.
Thanks for listening to this News Talk 106 to 108 podcast. To download other programmes or for more information, go to newstalk.ie.